So sometimes when we're reading about 5G, we hear about slicing. And can you explain the concept of network slicing in 5G and its significance for different applications?
Sure. Let's say you're at a friend's house. There's a group of friends gathering. You're all in the backyard and you're talking about something and you want to download something all at the same time. Everybody that's downloading is essentially treated the exact same. You're not entitled to more bandwidth or lower latency or faster downloads or anything like that because everything is treated, all the devices are treated exactly the same. What network slicing enables industry to do is to say, you know what, for certain applications, for certain services, we want to give them something different. We're going to still occupy the same spectrum, but parts of that spectrum are going to be dedicated to this application to deliver the speed and latency that requires, or the number of devices that may be required. And it could be triggered to time of day. It could be triggered to shifts. It could be triggered to anything that the business needs where that network can be reallocated, dynamically reconfigured, if you will, to support the specific needs of the business. So it gives organizations the flexibility that it's where it makes sense, where every device gets treated the same, great, but it could be that the business needs some more specific capabilities for some period of time or for some type of service.
Okay. How does the technology 5G enable IIoT, and what are the implications of all of these connected systems?
One of the things that is now possible with 5G, and to a lesser degree 4G as well, is the ability to connect to a massive number of devices. In the past, where you might have had a 4G radio connecting thousands of devices, we're now with 5G able to get into the millions of devices. The scale and density is going to be, again, orders of magnitude beyond what's been possible to connect before. That doesn't mean that every single IoT sensor is going to have a SIM card inside of it to apply direct cellular connectivity. It's whatever the application and the use cases require, but the possibility now exists to connect devices at massive scale that wasn't possible before. We're often in a factory environment or plant environment where somebody will say to us, gosh, I'd love to know what's going on right there at that pipe or at that duct or at that PLC or at that, HMI, whatever it happens to be, that desire to know more, to see what can't easily be seen, to be aware of what's going on, because you can't have eyes, human eyes, everywhere in a factory environment. So being able to link all of these sensors together intelligently through a single network fabric, instead of having multiple networks supporting all of that, that's where we see a lot of incremental value being generated.
Okay, so when we do all that linking, of course, then what pops into the brain are the security and the privacy concerns. So what measures are being taken to ensure that security and that privacy of the
Right.
data that's being transmitted on these networks?
I'm going to start anecdotally and then I'll talk more specifically. Think
Okay.
about over the last 30 plus years of how many times has there been an incident where a cellular network was hacked and penetrated. That would be zero, because the encryption, the signaling characteristics, the built-in security that already exists within even a 4G LTE network is such that it's really hard to penetrate a cellular network for nefarious reasons. Hackers are going to take the path of least resistance. So they're going to tend towards social engineering and easier points of entry. Cellular networks are very complicated, complex, difficult to penetrate, even though the signal is traveling over the air. 5G bumps that up to another level of security with things like 256-bit encryption. So it's doubled the encryption rate that exists in 4G LTE. There's more mutual authentication that has to go on as well. So there's a lot of built-in security capabilities that the 3GPP standard calls out for. So 5G is going to take the cybersecurity aspects of a cellular network to a whole nother level as well.